Hi, Zion Lutheran Church. Welcome to our hymn sing. We appreciate you all submitting your hymns to us. And we picked several, and Maxine is here to play. We have Rachel and Susie and John and myself here to sing along as well. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hymns that we want to share with you today. The first being Thy Strong Word. It was written by Martin Franzmann in 1961 while he was chairman of the Department of the Exegetical Theology at Concordia Seminary in St. Louis. Franzmann was a respected scholar, teacher, and theologian, and his gifts shine in this hymn. The text is based on the motto of the seminary, light from above. The hymn takes the idea of light, beginning with creation, and takes it all the way to its fulfillment as we worship the triune God with all the company of heaven in the splendor of God's glory. Let's sing together. The next hymn we'd like to share together is What a Friend We Have in Jesus. It's found in your Lutheran Service Book, page 770. If you have that handy, you can go ahead and turn to that right now. What a Friend in Jesus is a Christian hymn originally written by preacher Joseph Scriven as a poem in 1855 to comfort his mother, who was living in Ireland while he was in Canada. Scriven originally published the poem anonymously and only received full credit for it in the 1880s. The tune to the hymn is composed by Charles Crosat Converse in 1868. William Bolcombe composed a setting of the hymn. We sing together, What a Friend We Have in Jesus. Beautiful Savior is the next hymn we'd like to share. If you have a hymnal, open up to page 537. The original German text appeared anonymously in a manuscript dated 1662 in Munster, Germany. It was published in the Roman Catholic booklet in 1677, and with a number of alterations, it was also put in the hymn book compiled by Hoffman and Richter in 1842. We'll sing together, Beautiful Savior. How Great Thou Art. Lutheran Service Book, page 801. If you turn to that now, if you have your hymnal. How Great Thou Art is a Christian hymn based on Swedish traditional melody and a poem written by Carl Bogerg in Sweden in 1885. It was translated into German and then into Russian. It was translated into English from the Russian by an English missionary, Stuart Hine, who also added 2 original verses of his own. It was popularized by George Beverly Shea and Cliff Barrows during the Billy Graham Crusades. It was voted the United Kingdom's favorite hymn by the BBC's Song of Praise. How Great Thou Art was ranked second on a list of favorite hymns of all time in a survey by Christian Today magazine in 2001. We'll sing How Great Thou Art.
Consider all
Sorry about the delay on the screens there. I got wrapped up into singing the song. But we're moving on now to the next hymn, My Hope is Built on Nothing Less, found in your service book on page 575. My Hope is Built on Nothing Less is a Christian hymn written by Edward Mote, a pastor at Rehoboth Baptist Church in Horsham, West Sussex. Mote wrote about 100 hymns in his lifetime. This one, which he wrote in 1834, being the best known of his. My hope is built on nothing less. The next hymn where we'll be singing is If Christ Had Not Been Raised from the Dead, page 486 in your Lutheran service book. Christopher Martin Idle was born in 1938. He was ordained in the Church of England. He was a prolific author of articles on the Christian's public responsibilities. And then in 1998, Hope Publishing released Light Upon the River, a collection of 279 of his psalms and hymn texts. We sing together, If Christ Had Not Been Raised from the Dead.
Oh,
was kind of a new one to us, I think, that hymn. So thanks a lot for singing along on that one. Our next hymn we want to sing together is Abide With Me, found on page 878 if you have your Lutheran service book. Henry F. Light was a man who greatly loved the Lord with his whole being. He came up with the saying, "It is better to wear out than to rust out," and it perfectly described his life. During the last 23 years of his life, he pastored a poor church in England. His health was always suffering, and during that time, his health, in fact, started to decline. Finally, on September 4th, 1487, he preached his last sermon to his congregation. Shortly before preaching his last sermon, he wrote the words in tune to the hymn, "Abide With Me." He based his hymn on the text, which tells the story of Christ on the way to Emmaus, and the disciples' statement, "Abide with us, for it is toward evening, and the day is far spent." Abide with me. We sing together. The next hymn that we would like to sing together is "I Know That My Redeemer Lives," found on page 461 of your Lutheran service book. Now, this beloved Christian hymn by Samuel Medley is from the 18th century. "My Redeemer Lives" is an affirmation and celebration of the resurrection of Jesus. The lyrics of this hymn rejoice in the life of Jesus and the salvation he gives to humankind. The second stanza of this hymn describes Jesus' life after earth, saying, "He lives triumphant from the grave. He lives eternally to save. He lives all glorious in the sky. He lives exalted there on high." Praise the eternal salvation in Jesus by singing together with us this beautiful hymn, "I Know My Redeemer Lives." well, the final hymn that we're going to share with you today at this time, Be God With You Till We Meet Again. It was a hymn that was created by Jeremiah Rankin. He composed this for his church choir so they'd have a hymn to sing when they parted each week. Rankin was the minister for First Congregational Church in Washington, D.C., and said about the hymn, written as a Christian goodbye. It was called forth by no person or occasion, but was deliberately composed as a Christian hymn on the basis of goodbye, which is God be with you. He got the idea for the first stanza of the song when he saw the dictionary definition of goodbye, which was a short for God be with you. The hymn was written in 1882 when Rankin was 54 years old. We sing together. Well, there it is, our hymn sing for you today. I kind of messed up the last slide there. Sorry, again, I got into singing. But thank you so much for joining us on this hymn sing. We'll be back again. We'd ask you to submit your hymns, continue submitting them to Maxine, and we'll plan on doing this again real soon. Please give us some feedback if this is something that you enjoy as well. So we'll all say it together. Ready? We're going to say, God bless everyone. Ready? 1, 2, 3. God bless everyone. We'll see you next time.